Have you ever wondered how to create your own GPT with ChatGPT? Welcome to a world where artificial intelligence is no longer the stuff of science fiction, but a reality that's reshaping our lives. Today we dive into the fascinating realm of generative pre-trained transformers, or GPT, and specifically ChatGPT. Imagine having a tool that can predict and generate human-like text, a tool that can engage in a conversation as convincingly as a human. That's what GPT and ChatGPT offer us. They are AI models trained on vast amounts of internet text, and they're revolutionizing the way we interact with technology. Creating your own GPT with ChatGPT might sound like a daunting task, but it's a journey well worth embarking on. Whether it's for a personal project, research, or simply to satiate your curiosity, the knowledge you'll gain is invaluable. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how to create your own GPT with ChatGPT. Let's get started on this exciting journey. To start, it's important to understand what GPT and ChatGPT are. Let's kick things off with GPT, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now that's quite a mouthful, isn't it? But don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. GPT is essentially a type of artificial intelligence model developed by OpenAI. It's designed to understand and generate human-like text based on the information it's been trained on. Think of GPT as a creative writer with an infinite amount of knowledge and experiences. It can write essays, answer questions, translate languages, and even create poetry. All this is possible because GPT is a language prediction model. It predicts the next word in a sentence based on the words it has seen so far. The more context it has, the better its prediction. Now let's switch gears and talk about ChatGPT. If GPT is the writer, then ChatGPT is the conversationalist. It's a version of GPT that's been fine-tuned for conversations. This means it's been trained to not only generate text, but also to respond to prompts in a conversational manner. It's like having a chat with a very knowledgeable friend who can always keep the conversation flowing. ChatGPT is used in various applications, from customer service bots to personal assistants and beyond. It's designed to understand context, nuances, and even humor in a conversation, making it a fantastic tool for interacting with users in a natural, human-like way. So, in a nutshell, GPT is all about generating human-like text, while ChatGPT takes it a step further by engaging in conversations. They're both powerful tools in the world of AI, each with their own unique strengths and applications. Now that we have a basic understanding of GPT and ChatGPT, we can dive into the process of creating one. The first step in creating your own GPT with ChatGPT is setting up your environment. So, what exactly does this environment entail? Well, it's a combination of the right hardware and software that will allow you to smoothly create, train, and test your GPT model. Let's break it down. Starting with the hardware, it's important to note that training a model like GPT can be quite resource-intensive. So you'll need a computer with a powerful processor, a decent amount of RAM, ideally 16 gigabytes or more, and if possible, a high-end graphics card. The graphics card is particularly important if you plan on training your model locally, as GPT models can greatly benefit from the parallel processing capabilities of GPUs. But don't worry if your computer doesn't meet these specs. You can also use cloud-based platforms like Google Colab, which provide access to high-performance hardware over the internet. Just remember that while these platforms can be free or quite affordable, they do come with usage limits. Now let's talk about software. You'll need a programming environment that can run Python, as this is the language we'll be using to create our GPT. Python is widely used in AI and machine learning due to its simplicity and the vast array of libraries available for these tasks. Speaking of libraries, we'll be using a few key ones for this project. First and foremost is the Transformers library from Hugging Face, which provides the pre-trained GPT model we'll be using. We'll also need PyTorch, a popular machine learning library, and TensorBoard for visualizing our training progress. Installing these libraries is as simple as running a few commands in your Python environment. If you're using a cloud platform, it might even come with these libraries pre-installed. So gather your hardware, set up your Python environment, install the necessary libraries, and prepare yourself for the exciting task ahead. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and you've just taken that first step. With the environment set up, we're ready to start programming our GPT. Now comes the exciting part, programming your GPT. Imagine you're a skilled conductor. and you're about to orchestrate a symphony of code. That's right, it's time to dive into the nuts and bolts of programming your own generative pre-trained transformer, or GPT, with ChatGPT. Step 1, we need to import the necessary libraries. For our venture, we'll need Python programming language, TensorFlow, and the Hugging Face Transformers library. Python is our primary language, TensorFlow is our machine learning platform, and Transformers provides a wealth of pre-trained models, including GPT-2 and GPT-3, that we can build upon. Alright, on to step 2, loading the model and tokenizer. The tokenizer will convert our input text into a format that the GPT model can process, while the model is our conductor's baton, guiding the language generation process. Remember, the choice of the model is crucial. You might be tempted to go for the largest, most powerful model, but keep in mind more power requires more resources. So, for beginners, we recommend starting with GPT-2. Now, for step 3, we've got to set up our prompts. A prompt is like the opening line of a story, which our GPT will continue. You can choose anything you like. Just keep in mind, the model doesn't know the specifics of your prompt. It's only trying to predict what text should logically follow based on its training. Moving on to step 4, let's generate responses to our prompts. Here, the model takes the prompt and generates a continuation, attempting to match the style and content of the input. This is where the magic happens, where our AI starts to weave its narrative. Now let's talk about step 5, adjusting parameters. Parameters like temperature and max length can drastically change the output. Temperature controls the randomness of predictions. A higher value like 1 makes the output more random, while a lower value like 0.1 makes it more deterministic. Max length, on the other hand, controls the length of the generated text. Experiment with these to get the results you desire. Lastly, step 6, it's time for some fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is like teaching the model to better understand and generate text in a particular style or topic. This step requires a separate data set and involves a bit more complexity, but it's worth it to get a model that can write like Shakespeare or answer questions about quantum physics. Through these steps, we've created a basic structure for programming your GPT with ChatGPT. Remember, this is a starting point. The beauty of AI lies in its potential for customization and experimentation. Try different models, play with parameters, fine-tune with unique datasets. The possibilities are endless. And just like that, we've programmed our GPT, but we're not done yet. Once the GPT is programmed, it's time to train and test it. Training a GPT is like teaching a toddler to speak. You feed it with data and adjust its parameters, nurturing it until it can generate text on its own. This is where the term machine learning comes in. You provide your GPT with a large amount of text data. This could be anything from books and articles to transcripts of conversations. The type of data you feed the model will influence the kind of responses it generates. If you provide it with Shakespearean plays, it might start sounding like a bard from the 16th century. Now, you're not just dumping data onto the GPT, you're feeding it in a structured manner. This is done through a process called tokenization, where the data is broken down into smaller parts or tokens. The GPT learns the relationship between these tokens and uses this knowledge to generate text. Next, the parameters of the GPT are adjusted. These parameters, also known as hyperparameters, control how the GPT learns. They include the learning rate, which determines how quickly or slowly the model learns, and the batch size, which determines how much data the model processes at a time. Adjusting these parameters can lead to optimal performance. Once the training is complete, it's time to test the GPT. Testing involves asking the GPT to generate text based on a prompt. For example, if you give it the prompt "once upon a time," it should generate a coherent story. If it does, then congratulations, your GPT is ready. If not, don't worry. You can always go back, adjust the parameters, and train it again. Remember, creating a GPT is like baking a cake. The right ingredients and the right amount of time in the oven will yield a delicious result. But even if it doesn't come out perfect the first time, you can always try again. The joy is in the process, not just the outcome. Congratulations, you've now created and tested your own GPT with ChatGPT. Thanks for watching. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel for more insightful videos.